All right, guys, we got a nice special guest on today. My teammate, Matt Steinbiser, catcher, Duke University, baby.
How's it
Matt, how
going?
we doing?
Boys, I'm doing really well. I'm happy to be here. Talk some sports. I love what you guys are doing, going for it and doing your thing. I admire it a lot, and I'm excited to get on here with you guys.
Much
Yeah,
respect.
yeah, man, we appreciate it, and
A lot of respect.
hopefully this is not the only time you ever come on.
Dude, this is every guy's dream. Just sit around, talk sports, and a lot of guys always say, "Oh, you should do this. We should make a podcast. We should this for real." You guys had the balls to go out and do it. I admire
Yeah,
it.
man. I actually saw a TikTok the other day that literally said like things got all guys talk about, and it was like the first thing was like starting a podcast, and we're like, well, we
Facts.
did it, so
You guys are on your way. So,
yeah.
you guys.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's get rolling. This one's gonna be more of like an interview. We've done some segments with other guys we've had on, but just the sports talks we've had in the past. I'm just like, I don't really want to do any content for this. Like, this is gonna be an interview, is where we're at with Steiny. So let's start it off. Obviously playing baseball at Duke. How'd you end up at Duke?
So, I'm from Michigan. A lot of the schools recruiting me were schools close to home, Big Ten schools. You Michigan guy there, Carson?
Yeah, my whole family is. I was born here in Myrtle Beach, but my whole family is kind of Michigan. So, W.
All right, I got you. Yeah, I'm a Michigan guy. I got recruited by a lot of schools close to home. But I was one of those guys that ended up having a good weekend and got in front of the right people. I had a couple coaches ask me, what kind of schools are you interested in? And Duke was always a school that was kind of a dream of mine. Such a good school. It's in the ACC. It's in a warm weather state. There's a lot of things to like about it. And I ended up getting in front of Coach Jordan, getting the chance to get recruited by him, made the right moves and played well in the right spots. And here I am. So it all kind of happened over the course of a year or two, but I'm lucky that it all worked out the way it did.
Hell
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, warm weather usually means year-round baseball in nice sunny weather, but for us, it's, we're starting to get into those temps
I
where
know.
it's
I
like,
know.
oh yeah, it's nice that it's not snowing, but it's still cold.
It's cold, but like I talked to some friends of mine that play at Michigan State, and it's 35, 36 degrees today. So,
Oh, and I thought I was
Brutal.
dying at yoga. I
But-
thought I was dying at yoga last night. So,
yeah.
and that was
I-
60. So
Playing baseball in North Carolina is much different than playing in Michigan.
nice.
That's what's up.
So talk us kind of through your career. I know a lot of guys who watch the podcast probably don't know that you kind of came in and got kind of stuck just behind one of the best catchers to come through Duke. And I'm not, kissing Mike's ass at all, but I mean, Rothenberg is obviously legit behind the dish. So how, what was kind of your experience kind of learning behind him and also kind of trying to work, and now you're kind of getting your opportunity?
Yeah, no doubt. That's what you get when you come to an ACC program that's, in the top 25 every year. A team that just won an ACC championship, right? You're going to be behind good guys. So being behind Mike was frustrating, obviously, but I get to learn from a really good player. I got to develop on my own and be a part of that team and accomplish what we have for the last few years. It's been tough. It's forced me to be my toughest critic and now, hopefully get my opportunity to play a little bit and help contribute a little more on the field than I have in the last few years. But that's life in the ACC and life on a top 25 program. Sometimes you got to be patient and wait your turn. A lot of guys have had to do it, and a lot of guys have been successful once they get their chance. So
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
just life at this level.
Absolutely.
there's plenty of guys even on our team that we can look at and say. So,
No doubt.
I mean, dude,
People ask-
I've told you, I'm excited for you to get back there and get some games behind the dish, man.
I appreciate it, man.
you know.
People always ask me, how's the team going to be this year? And I tell them, we got a lot of young guys in the lineup. It's going to be a lot of new faces. And they say, oh, so, maybe not as good. And I didn't say that at all. These guys have worked really hard to be where they are and
Yeah.
worked really hard to finally get that opportunity. So there's a lot of really good players on our roster, a lot of guys that haven't got a chance yet. And that's what's exciting about what we have this year.
Yeah. I mean, definitely gonna be exciting. I'm gonna need more Steiny bombs, man.
I need some more
That's-
Stanley bombs too.
that Davidson bomb was exciting.
That
That
I
guy,
don't
I mean,
remember
that was
watching-
late. It was late in the game too, so it got me fired up. Like when we were starting to get exhausted, I think we were like in inning 8 or 9, and it was like we got 4 more to go,
Yeah,
and I was like,
hit
"Oh,
it.
Steiny gets me going."
I hit it and the lights went out, and I didn't wake up until I was back at the dugout. So maybe I'll get
I
another-
remember somebody asking you why you didn't pimp it, and you're like, "Dude, I didn't even know what just happened."
exactly.
You're like, I knew it left, but I got nothing.
My body went numb. I was in shock.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
That's
So,
sweet.
Obviously there's not a ton to talk about, but glad to hear your story and give you a chance. So let's move into some, professional sports, most notably the World Series. Who do you have? How many games and why?
I like the Braves in 7. I've been saying that for a little while now. I like this Braves team a lot, man. I think maybe I'm a little biased. Not the biggest Astros fan in the world. I'm kind of an old school baseball guy, so I'm still a little bitter about what happened in 17. But I look at this Braves team. They come so close last year. It leads to an unbelievable Dodgers team and a really good series. I feel like they just kind of have that will not be denied. We're going to finish kind of attitude this year. And then, they kind of cruised to the Dodgers in 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
In the NLCS, they're really good in the back end of their bullpen. When they get leads in the playoffs, they're a really tough team to beat. And easy to say now, they're already up 1 game to none on the road. So I like the Braves in 7, but I said that before last night's game. And I'm hoping they pull it off too. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. I mean, it's looking like 7 because I think the Astros are up like 6-1 or something like that right now. 5-1.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're up big right now, and it's early.
They're
So-
5-2. Yeah.
Rough.
I think something that's interesting is last night, you have the Braves get off to an early lead. Morton's cruising, and you think maybe they get a chance to win a game without dipping into that bullpen of theirs. And instead, Morton gets the bad break, and you got to go to Minter in the 3rd inning. So
Yeah.
tough break for the Braves. They had to really earn that one and use some of their good arms. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a factor as we get later in the series.
I do got to ask before we move on to, the football talk, who is deciding to hang pictures or something?
Who wants to
at
bang
at
and
9
break
9:45
your door
at night?
down?
They're
like, Steiny, answer me.
Well,
That's what it sounds like.
Foltz, JT.
Yeah.
He gets his mindset on something. I think he's hanging like a curtain right now or something.
Dude,
it has to
I
be
swear,
done right now. Because
Oh,
JT's got to be
man.
done when he wants it to be done.
You could
Yeah,
probably hear
exactly.
that a few blocks down. Like
It
that.
could-
Yeah.
He has to run out of energy eventually.
That townhouse is a movie every single day. So
It's got to be over soon. I apologize.
yeah, we'll get through it. We'll get through it. So let's start with, we're moving to the NFL. Let's start with the Steelers, man. You're a Steelers fan, Pittsburgh guy through and through when it comes to sports.
Yep.
How are you feeling about the Steelers?
I'm feeling like the whole season rides on next week, baby.
Really?
At Cleveland. Yeah, I do. Because they're coming off a bye. So this is as fresh as you're going to get for the next 12, 13 weeks.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of old guys in that clubhouse, in that locker room. So a little rest is nice. You're already 1 game down to Cincy. Chances are pretty good. You're probably not going to sweep Baltimore. If you go down to 3-4, already having lost a game in hand to Cleveland and Cincy, I think they're in a little bit of trouble. I think they got to exercise some demons from that playoff loss last year. I think they got to get that first division win under their belt. If they can get to 4-3 this week, beat Cleveland coming off the bye, beat a banged up Baker, I'll feel a lot better letting them go into that, second half of their schedule because it's tough. They got to go play Kansas City. They got to play Tennessee, Baltimore twice.
I mean, they got Chicago.
Chicago. How can I sleep on Chicago, right? He was going to win this weekend, by the way. But I feel like they got to pull this one out. I do not want to go to 3-4 being a game down to
Right.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you there. I think the biggest thing is like, what are you gonna do after Big Ben's gone? Do you guys think you get Rodgers next year?
I am full blown on the go get Aaron Rodgers campaign, man.
I love it.
Because you know what?
As you should.
They've got a really good defense. I think.
Hey, man, anything to get him out of our fucking division, please.
Please,
Just get him
dude.
out. Get him out.
Give
Yeah.
the Packers 3 first round. Like, I don't care. Just get him out of there.
The Bears have the balls to talk shit when Aaron Rodgers comes to town, so we get yelled at and he says, I own you."
Yeah.
But see, the Lions, they don't talk any shit. They know what's about to happen. But he owns the
Hey,
Lions
hey,
too. So like both
hey.
of us are
Hey.
suffering for the last 5 years now.
Yeah, I hear you. No,
Like,
you
it's been rough.
the Steelers. They've got a really good defense. It doesn't get
Very
talked
good.
a ton. They had Najee Harris.
Yeah.
If you've watched the Steelers play all this year, Najee Harris has been the best player in the field probably every one of their games.
Yes.
And he might have
Carson's fantasy team is hanging on for dear life with
I have
Najee
him.
Harris.
I have him in all 4 of my leagues because I knew he would get the volume that he's gotten.
He's
So
unbelievable. And it doesn't always show up.
crazy.
It doesn't always show up on the stat sheet because that offensive line is bad.
Right.
But just the tackles he avoids, the negative plays he turns into 3-4 yard gains. He's been our leading receiver, I think.
I was about to say his craziest thing is that like he's having like 14 target games consistently.
So when you got
you don't see that besides maybe CMC when he's healthy.
Exactly.
You just don't see that kind of run. You just don't see that kind of pass game out of
when you get
any
that
running
kind of
backs.
defense, those kind of weapons, and you're paying TJ Watt, elite defensive money in the NFL. How do you not go out and get an elite quarterback next year and try to?
You have to.
That Super Bowl window, right?
I feel like you have to.
Yep.
So I'm full on the Aaron Rodgers train. I hope they pull it off. I don't even know who would be a good substitute if they don't get Rodgers.
I mean, Dwayne Haskins, right?
Dwayne Haskins could get it done.
He's the guy. He's the guy.
What's wrong with Dwayne?
If things go wrong this year, we might get a chance to see Dwayne a little bit, a little tryout.
I mean, maybe.
That's the only silver lining.
A tryout to see if he can make the practice squad next year.
If they're 5-8, 5-9 late in the year, we might get to see Haskins, but I don't know.
See if we can get a good draft pick out of it.
Maybe.
So let's move on from the Steelers and just into the general NFL. Who's your favorite to win the Super Bowl right now? And who's your favorite to see play in it from each side?
I hate to say it, but the Bucs are going to win the Super Bowl, aren't they?
That's not a bad take by any means.
Yeah.
I don't like Tom Brady. I can't stand, man. I'm so glad he's out of the AFC. He's still winning Super Bowls, but he's out of the AFC. The guy's wrecked the dreams and hopes of sports fans everywhere his entire career. They're just so good, man. They're so deep offensively. They're so deep defensively.
Yeah.
Brady doesn't make mistakes. I think you look at a lot of the good teams in the NFL right now, like the Bills, Chiefs, a lot of younger quarterbacks that, even Mahomes has a Super Bowl ring under his belt. These guys haven't played in the big games that Brady has for 15, 16 years. When it comes down to it, he's going to make all the right calls. He's not going to make any mistakes. He is the ultimate game manager. And with that kind of depth around him, the team doesn't lose much. So I hate to say it, but I think they're the team to beat right now.
Who do you think
you're
who do you
right.
think matches up with them in the Super Bowl though from the AFC?
The best matchup's the Bills, I think, because that's probably the best defense you're going to see out of the AFC. And that team can get red hot in a split second too. I mean, I know they lost to Tennessee last week, but before that, they rattle off a couple of huge wins and then go beat Kansas City and Arrowhead. That team can get red hot. But the sleeper team I like, Foltzy, I like the Chargers a lot.
The who?
The Chargers. I can't believe I'm saying that coming off
we are a Chargers
kicking
supporting
at Baltimore.
podcast. Okay.
Yeah,
we
are.
support the Chargers hard.
Dude, how do you not love Herbert?
I love Justin Herbert.
Unbelievable. I think the Chargers win the division. I think they're going to start separating themselves from the Chiefs if the Chiefs keep screwing around.
Oh yeah.
I think the Chargers are a team that could find themselves in the Super Bowl. They could sneak in with those elite teams like the Bills, the Bucs, the Rams. Look out for the Chargers.
The only thing that scares me about the Chargers is like the week they just had before the bye, like week 6 against the Ravens.
Yeah.
Like that game scares me. That just it shouldn't happen. But it's a fluke. It's a fluke, but it's still like you I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket, you know what I mean?
What did Aaron Rodgers do week 1?
True.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
true.
And look where they're at now. So,
I mean, Bills against the Steelers week 1, and look where both those teams are at.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
LA is a good dark horse to have, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it's a great.
I think the Rams and Cardinals are both good teams too. I was actually the next question was what teams are your sleepers?
Yeah, well, so
obviously the Chargers.
Dude, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Cowboys guy. I'm not a Dak guy. I thought they'd be average this year, and they can score.
They look electric. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
They do. I mean, and we've talked about that though. Is like I think Dallas they're gonna try to outscore you. So like if you have a decent defense to put them up against, you can win football games against them easily.
No doubt. We've talked about that. Like, right,
yeah, they're
gonna try to outscore 3 playoff opponents in a row, and that's tough to do when you got to go through names like Stafford, Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what the Cowboys did against the Bucs. Like, yeah, they both scored a ton, but at the end of the day, like you just couldn't outscore Brady and the Bucs defense.
Exactly.
Right. That's still a good defense to battle with.
They're the most built team to go through a 2 or 3 weekend run through the NFC playoffs. The Bucs are. But
Yeah.
as much as I hate to say it, man, Cowboys are really good. Dak looks like he's in his stride at the right time, too.
Yeah, he's actually got a calf injury right now. He might miss this week.
That's true. That's they're gonna be all right.
Which he should, dude. He should. Don't make him play through that. Like let him heal up and let him play throughout the rest of the season. You know what I mean?
You playing against Dak this week?
No, I am not actually. I'm talking from a general perspective of Dak's been through it. He's really been through it. Let's relax, let him heal up, and have a good career. Because I like Dak. I think he's a good quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
They got the division on lock too. No reason to get him hurt.
They do. Yeah,
Exactly.
that division's a joke.
exactly.
So what teams that are obviously struggling right now do you think can make a turnaround, possibly a run?
Possibly a run. Well, you know what? Another team I don't like to talk about, but the Cleveland Browns, man. When they get healthy, this team's built to play football late in the season. You know, I'm a big late in the season, weather gets cold, you got to run the ball and play good defense. And when they get those two running backs back healthy, not many teams run the ball like they do in the NFL.
And we just found out they got a third running back who's legit.
Apparently, right? They're going to be battle tested in that division. I mean, that's 6 games a year against a good Steelers team, a really good Cincy team, and a really good Baltimore team. If they can get healthy at the right time, maybe win some of those division games, I think they're a team that can hang around. And then a team that I've been big on in the after 3 weeks, I'm a little embarrassed. The Panthers. I know this sounds crazy because Darnold's looked very, very limited the last few weeks, but you can see CMC back healthy. That team looked pretty good for 3 weeks early this year when they had it.
That's true.
That's a little off the wall. That might be my hottest take of the night on this podcast.
I think
But
with a
I don't
healthy
mind the take. I really
maybe, but I see where you're coming from with it.
Healthy CMC and a potential Cam Newton signing. Who knows? You know what I mean?
I threw that out there on Monday's show.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It was
But
kind of just
imagine.
Cam Newton's still a free agent. You got Sam Darnold out there, just QBR of like 40 this week.
You got 5 pretty elite teams in the NFC just beating the crap out of each other, right? So you know those 5 teams are making the playoffs. 2 teams got to sneak in. I think Carolina's one of them, and I think they could upset some people. Just maybe if it's just one game, they can make some noise in the NFC. Just shake it up and get some of those big boys off their toes.
Nice.
It's a hot take, but it's not a bad take at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Get McCaffrey going. Get McCaffrey going in the playoffs.
I'm sure fantasy owners are loving just any sign of McCaffrey.
Right.
So who on the other side of that, who is struggling and looks like it's just over? This season's a wash. Start looking at draft picks.
Oh, man, there's a lot of teams on my mind. I thought Philly was going to have a good year, and I think it's time to wrap things up, move on to the next head coach, and get some draft picks.
You think Sirianni's out already?
I think so, man. I don't know. I've seen some of the decisions they've made in games. They look like they're in trouble. I know Jalen Hurts is kind of out there by himself, and he was a little locked into Devontae those first few weeks, but I don't know. I thought this team would be competitive for that division with Dallas. I think it's pretty clear right now that it's a one-team race all the way. They've been a disappointment to me. I think that's a team that needs to pack it up and look towards next year. Another team that I think people are like you've given some credit to, and people are still talking about that I think maybe is a little overrated. I'm not buying Indy.
Yeah.
I'm not buying the Carson Wentz.
I'm with you there. I'm
with you there too.
They played a 49ers team in the rain that doesn't really have a run game when they have 2 pretty good running backs, and Jonathan Taylor I'd call a really good running back. And Wentz just looked really good. Like they have weapons. I just don't think, and they have weapons and they have a defense. I just think they have something about them where they're going to end up falling apart.
Exactly. And I think it's Carson Wentz. I think that's the thing you're talking about.
They just have like Hilton, Pittman, Pascal, Hines, and Taylor on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, and then you turn around on the defense, and their defense has just always been stellar.
Yeah, no doubt. But I don't know. That's just a team that I'm not buying. Even at 3-4, I think they're 3-4.
I think 3 and
If that.
Yeah,
I think
either
think
3
they
and
have
4
2.
or 2 and 5. I think they just got their 3rd win. Actually,
They might be one of the
might have.
softer 3 and 4 teams out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not buying them all the way.
Yeah, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah. It's been a good year so far, though. It's interesting.
Yeah. Moving into some college football. Who's your 4 as of right now, and then who do you got winning the whole thing?
Oh man, a little college football talk. I wasn't ready for that. I'm gonna upset a lot of people here, but Alabama's gonna sneak in, probably at 4.
I mean, we'd agree for sure.
Alabama's not gonna sneak in.
Who's that?
Alabama. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a shame because a lot of teams that are going to be undefeated or also have one loss aren't going to get in, but you can't tell me they're not a top 4 team in the country. And you can't tell me right now that they aren't possibly the best team in the country. But I think
that's true.
I think Alabama sneaks in at 4. I think I'm pretty confident Georgia gets a spot in there. Since he gets a spot in there, I just want to see who wins the Big Ten. And I think that's going to be something we're following for the next few weeks pretty hard. Who's going to win the Big Ten, Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
That's fucking Ohio State.
I think you're right.
I'm done. I don't care about college football anymore.
Season's
Penn
over.
State just lost in the 9th fucking overtime to Illinois. So I'm done. I'm good.
That was bad. How about Michigan State? Who do you like there?
Michigan. I'm not sold on Michigan State. I'm not sold on Michigan either, but I'm more sold on them than Michigan State.
I don't know how sold I am on either team. A couple.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sold on either of them. I don't think either of them should be ranked where they are.
I agree. Both teams have not impressed me at times.
I think Michigan State is about to get smacked around by the big 3 in the Big Ten. Like,
did we confirm the game is at the Big House? Like, do we know where it's at?
It's
at the Big House, right?
No, it's in Michigan State.
Oh wow. I still like Michigan.
Rivalry game on the road for Michigan. That's never easy.
But I think they're going to get smacked around by the big 3. And I'm even including Penn State in that too. Is like Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan. Michigan State is going to lose all 3 of those games.
It's tough to argue that. I agree.
No. And Penn State's going to lose 2 of them.
Wow.
I think
they might be Michigan.
I think Ohio State's going to pull in Alabama and sneak their way in with 1 loss too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think they deserve it more than Alabama if they do sneak in as a 1-loss team. Is like their 1 loss is to Oregon.
Yep.
Alabama lost to A&M.
No doubt. Dude, the team that I liked in the Big Ten was Iowa. What a disappointment they were, man.
Yeah.
That was a team that I was big on those first few weeks. Run the football, play really good defense.
Yeah. They're the definition of Big Ten football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that, right?
Punts on punts, winning games 13-10. Like, that's their goal.
You really are an old school guy, dude.
I'm an old school. I'm a Big Ten Northern. I love the way Iowa plays football. Those first few weeks.
Awesome.
That game that Iowa beat Penn State. Sorry. Penn State. I think it was 23-20. 23-20. Yeah. Awesome football game. That's the kind of football I tune in to watch. I don't like this 12 run and gun crap. I like Big Ten football, but man,
are we talking about the NBA with this guy? Like, how do you feel about the 3-point shot?
Yeah. So you got, Ohio State and Alabama. You think Cincinnati and Georgia are just kind of locks?
I think Georgia's a lock. And the only team that's going to beat Georgia is maybe Alabama. And that just further bolsters both teams' resumes. Yeah. I think
you think Georgia just wins the whole thing?
I think Alabama or Ohio State wins the whole thing.
Wow.
I think
Ohio State has crumbled in the playoff every year, but
I know,
we'll see.
I don't know if Georgia's ready for that. I think they got a really good defense. I don't know if Georgia. I know they put up some big points. They beat some good teams. I don't know if they have the speed on offense to play with an Ohio State or play with an Alabama. I think those teams can outscore them.
That's fair.
It's not a bad take at all.
Well, let's give ourselves some time for puck talk and pick them because Steiny, we're doing exactly what I said we'd do.
I'm excited
we
for
can
the
sit
puck
here and
talk
just talk and talk and talk
because
I love it.
I don't follow the NHL whatsoever.
Foltz, I got the old group meeting bumped back to 10:30, so we got some time here.
Oh, let's go.
We got some time. This is more important than academics, right, guys?
There you go. This will be a public YouTube video, so we're gonna find out if Coach Pollard's watching or not.
There you go. Yeah, you just planted a little seed for him. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, see if you get that 8 a.m. Hey, meet me in my office text.
Sweet.
So Carson, go ahead.
About what? Are we doing?
You were just
talking.
Already? You were just talking something about. You said something about hockey, and
I was
completely interrupted.
No, I mean, on my end, you didn't interrupt me, but I was just saying I'm excited about this NHL talk because I don't follow it whatsoever. So I want to, pick his brain and hear what he's got to say about, the NHL. Hoping you're a big fan, so yeah, I'm excited for it. I want to hear you talk, and I'm gonna just kind of let you do your thing here.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm just posing, I'm throwing a couple questions your way, but if you want to start talking about other shit, talk about it. I don't care.
Fire the questions off. I'm sure.
I'm just excited about the Devils, so I'm trying to get back into hockey.
I gotcha.
I'm the same way. I mean, the Red Wings were dominant for a good 10-year period, and now they're horrible. So I want to see where they're at.
I don't think
I have no idea.
I wouldn't get too excited for let's see about the Devils.
Yeah. So, well, that moves us into the first question of Puck Talk. What teams are legit?
Well, I mean, we all know who's really good. We all know Vegas is going to be good. We all know Colorado is going to be good. The teams that were in the mix last year, but team that's legit that people are starting to talk about is Florida. I really like Florida. A lot of scoring up front. Huberdeau's having a good start to this season. They got two really good NHL goalies. They got Bobrovsky, who's an old vet playing really well. They got the new rookie that's playing really well. In his debut, he beats Tampa, holds them to 1 goal. I think Florida is a team that's going to make some noise. And It's kind of tough when you play in Tampa's division. The back-to-back.
I was just about to say, is Tampa still in the mix?
Tampa is.
I know they won it.
No doubt. I think Florida gives them a run for their money in that division. I think they're both playoff teams. I think they both make noise in the East, but I think Florida is that team get on the block this year.
Okay. You got any other big contenders or anything?
The Capitals look really good too. I hate to say that as a Pittsburgh guy, but Ovi looks like he's on a mission, man. I think he moved into either 6th or 5th all time on the all-time career goals list.
Yeah, my dad was watching. He did it against the Devils. He got to 5th or whatever.
Yeah, right now
my dad was watching and he was talking about that.
7 goals, 5 assists in 5 games. That's pretty good.
That's yeah. Good. I mean, we're not watching, but that sounds good.
That's good. Believe me, that's pretty good. So I think the Caps are back. But hey, you guys aren't hockey guys. If you're gonna follow the NHL at all, Connor McDavid's the guy you need to be watching play right now. Because that's a third team I wanted to talk about. We got the Oilers right now sitting here at 5-0 through 5 games. McDavid's got 13 points in 5 games, just under 3 a game. You know how people watch the NBA just to watch LeBron make history?
Yeah.
People like watching the NFL just to watch Mahomes make history. That's what we're doing right now. McDavid is on pace to tear up records.
So I got to check out the Oilers is what I'm hearing.
Check out the Oilers. I don't think anybody's had 150 points in a season since Lemieux did it in the early 90s. This guy could have 170, 180 points this season.
Wow.
That's a guy you need to tune in to watch. If you're ever going to casually watch hockey, that's the guy you want to keep an eye on right now.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
There you go.
I think I'm going to do it.
You should.
I'm going to find out where I can watch Houston Oilers hockey.
Houston Oilers? It's the Edmonton Oilers, man. Come on. Ooh. You probably don't even know where Edmonton is.
Sorry about it.
Myrtle Beach, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess Canada.
That's a good guess. You're right.
Could I point to it on a map?
Probably not.
Nope.
Probably not. What else you got?
I was actually going to say who are the guys to watch for. So, we got Ovechkin's doing really well, and obviously Connor McDavid. So,
David, man, I'm telling you, if you're a casual hockey fan, the numbers this guy's putting up are off the charts. This season, he's on pace to have. I know it's only 5 games, but he did it last year in 52 games, 104 points in 52 games. The numbers this guy's put up through 5 games show he's even better.
That's crazy.
I mean, you could be watching one of the best seasons in the modern era. He's putting up Gretzky numbers right now, so that's kind of cool.
What's the normal hockey season?
You play 82 games. 82 game season, you have 100 points. That's a good year. 100 points would be like being a 300 hitter, right? You're in the upper echelon. I think most elite goal scorers, most elite point getters are going to be between 100 and 120 points. 120 points is a hell of a season. The guy put up 104 in 52 games last year.
Why did he only play 52?
COVID year.
Okay, so they had a shortened season.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This year, 82 games. It's not crazy to say this guy's going to get 2.5 points a game and breathe on 175, 180 points. That's pretty unreal.
That's crazy.
That would be crazy.
You got to watch for. If you're a casual hockey fan, he's a guy that you got to keep an eye on.
Nice.
Okay. Nice.
Hell yeah.
So I was actually gonna that kind of moves us into the next question. What can the NHL do, in your opinion, to bring more fans to the game? I think hockey, from what I've seen, is like one of the most exciting sports to watch. There's always a shot. There's shots on goal often. I think too many people compare it to soccer, where it's like you're only seeing 3-0 games at best. And it's like, but it's even if you're only seeing a 3-2 game, it's like there's still a ton of shots on goal, a ton of action happening, fights on live television. What can the NHL do to kind of bring fans to the game, especially in like areas where we live, where like hockey's just not a thing. Like especially South Carolina, man. Like we can.
That's true.
Root for the Canes, but like they're all the way up here, and in the triangle. So it's like, why?
I know what you mean. I mean, like I come from Michigan, right, where it's like hockey is king. Like high school hockey is getting thousands of people at games every night, right? And you have wings who have been successful forever. Michigan hockey, Michigan State hockey, Michigan Tech college hockey is huge. Female college, women's college hockey is huge. Female youth hockey is huge. Like
wow,
across the board, it's huge. And it's such a great sport, man. Like you said, I mean, you got dudes flying around hitting each other. You got one of the most exciting sports to watch live. You're getting 21,000 a night, especially in the playoffs when you've got electric atmospheres, which you don't hear about it a lot. And I think that's just on the NHL, man. I think they just got to do a better job marketing that product. Now they're on ESPN. So ESPN deal, they got a TNT deal, they're NBC Sports. I think that's big because now the casual ESPN guy, the guy that comes home at 8:00 and just flips on ESPN, is going to see a hockey game every now and then. But I think the big thing is the TNT intermission crew. The TNT basketball post-game crew where you've got Shaq and Charles, and they're shooting the shit, right? I feel like those guys did a lot to bring in NBA viewership. People want to watch games to watch these guys do their thing in between games or halftime. I mean, they're hilarious, right? TNT put together a pretty good hockey crew. They got Wayne Gretzky, obviously the greatest player of all time. You've got Paul Bissonnette, who, he's a Spin Chicklets guy, another Barstool podcast, if you're a podcast guy. A couple of the really good personalities from the league. I think that's like maybe their ticket to getting on the radar screen, is if those guys are making headlines on Twitter or attracting viewers and get the ESPN deal. I mean, I think they just got to find a way to market the game around, what they've got going right now.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I mean,
that whole analogy with the Barkley thing was sweet.
The first step is just lift all the whatever restrictions have caused us to not see another Scott Stevens since he was in the league. Whatever the rules changes were to make that happen, let's lift those rules and get back to the Scott Stevens days, where come across the blue line with your head down. Yeah, your day's gonna be over.
That's what's crazy, man. You see like the NFL today or college football. Football is so different, right? And every time you watch football, you probably say it once a Saturday or once a Sunday. Like that's just, like that's not football. That's a bad call. I miss old football where you could just slug it out and there's nothing you can do wrong. The NHL has not implemented a ton of rules like that. There's no targeting. There's no head-to-head contact. They are still, for the most part, except for, a couple things here and there, they're playing by the same rules they were for the last 15, 20 years. That's another reason for people to watch. All those football fans that miss, big hits without targeting calls, roughing the passer calls, start watching hockey. They're still doing that stuff. They let it fly.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. I'm glad to see it happening somewhere. Final thing for hockey, and then we'll move right into pick'em and close it out. Who's your pick at this moment, where some teams are 4 games, some teams are 7 games deep? Who's your pick for the Stanley Cup? Who's winning it? If you gotta put it down right now.
I think Tampa pulls off the 3-peat. I really do.
Wow.
I know they're like 2-3 right now. They look like they're still hungover from the post game when they beat Montreal last year. But like, if you looked at this roster, they brought so many key guys back from that team last year. They made a couple really good off-season pickups, kind of bolster some of that depth. And I think there's something to be said about going out there and trying to do it 3 times in a row. A couple teams have done it twice in a row. The Wings did it in the late 90s. The Penguins just did it a few years ago. But once you start winning 3 championships in a row in any sport, you're kind of entering that elite category, You're kind of stage that only maybe 5 or 6 teams have ever done in any sport, right? I think it hasn't been done in the NHL since the Islanders in like the early 80s, over 40 years ago. So I think they got a little gas in the tank left to try to pull this off, win 3 in a row. I think they're going to do it.
Nice. That'd be exciting.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be exciting.
No doubt.
Well, I'm glad we had you on for Puck Talk. That's definitely gonna be something we got to check in, probably a quarter of the way through the season.
I know what you mean.
A couple weeks.
It's tough, bro, especially when you're from South Carolina. You don't get to watch it a lot. And why would you care, right?
Yeah, it's not there for us.
It's an exciting game, man. It's cool. You get to see guys from all over the world. You got guys that are from the US, guys from Canada, guys from Europe, guys from Russia. It's exciting sport to watch, and there's nothing better than watching hockey live. I highly recommend it.
I was told that too.
I gotta go to a hockey game. I've been trying.
My
Hopefully the Canes play the
Devils
soon.
Yo, Mike Corsione goes to school in Tampa.
I know. I know he goes to Tampa,
and he's been to so many games, and they're good right now. So like that's pretty exciting. But yeah, no, I'm so sad because like I grew up a Lions fan, been a diehard Lions fan since 2010. Whenever I could realistically listen and watch football.
For you. But
I could never get into the Red Wings when they were good. You know what I mean? Because we could never really watch it here in South Carolina without, getting the whole DirecTV package and whatnot. So,
yeah,
jailbroken Fire Stick, baby.
It's just sad. Yeah, we didn't get into that till later on, but
man, the beauty. Yeah, been watching every Bears game.
Like I said,
it's not a good thing.
ESPN, hopefully that takes the league to a next level. So we'll see what happens.
I'm a OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. OG boy. Day we hustle, but the night we OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I'm a OG.